Good evening, everybody. It's Denise here, Denise Junk Journals UK. Thank you so much for joining me. It's lovely to have you here, and hopefully there's some of you live in the chat going to have a conversation with me. That will be nice. Just introduce yourself, chat generally, or chat to each other, and ask me any questions or requests. That's the place to do it. I'll be able to discuss it with you. If you're watching it after the event, that's fine. Don't worry. You can still in the comments add any requests or anything you want to know, questions, and I will try and answer them in future videos. I've already had a request from Michelle to do something about tassels and bead dangles and charms, so I've written that down. I'm ready to go with that one. Today we're back to proper basics, beginner basics, and I'm going to just do some basic pockets. Now, I always like a front and a back pocket in my journals, especially journaling journals, which this is going to be, I think, so that you can tuck things, tickets and memorabilia, or just extra paper to write on, cards, things people have given you, all sorts of things. It could even be that you're just tucking things in until you get a chance to put them into your journal. So it's always good, I think, to have a pocket. Now, we've only made a small journal to start with. I am going to make more journals with you in this series. I'm going to make it a bit longer series than I did last year. So this is just our first very basic, and then we'll move on and do a couple more complicated but slower and explaining. So pockets. What have I got with me then? I've got some lace. If you saw the vlog, you'll have seen that I've got some more lace from Angie, who I said was Weasel on eBay, which she may well be, but I got them off Etsy, not eBay. I got that completely wrong. Anyway, I've got a piece fairly see-through, because I want my blue butterfly still to be seen through. So that will be going on my spine. It's very rare I create a spine without putting something on it. It's just me, that's my thing. You don't have to, it will be perfectly fine like that. I just do love something on my spine. I think it's because when they're all sat on my shelf with everything dangling down, they just look more beautiful than ever. So, I told you I had a plastic bag. I didn't. I told you I had a paper bag that I couldn't find. This was it. It's a great big paper bag. You don't always get beautiful ones now, but in some shops, especially craft shops and things like that, you do get lovely bags. Now, this is a lovely thick quality as well, which you don't often get. This you could substitute for paper, because it's got that beautiful kind of... it's a bit like watercolour, isn't it? Pattern on it, yeah. So I could use that as paper or pages or anything in here. So that's going with my beginners. Here's one also bright, not as thick though, and kind of well used, as you can see, but they're still good. These sort of things are lovely for noise in your journals. If you like crinkly pages, which I do, I love things like that. Those are good for things like that, but also for covering the backs of tags, what have you. That book page you saw, it was from last time. Yep, I saved Neil's crunchy nut cornflake. No, salted caramel flavour. Crunchy nut cornflakes, goodness. Packet. Now, he often has Weetabix in winter, not so much in summer. The Weetabix packets, I think I said to you before, they're a beautiful colour inside. But yeah, so that's going to be my go-to card for this journal, rather than going into my, bought card. I have brought some scrapbooking paper with me out of my box, just really to save me time. If you don't have scrapbooking paper to make the pockets and things that we're going to, you can use this card and just cover it with either paper, wallpaper, book page. I brought a book page with me as well. Anything you like, cover a big piece of that, and then it's exactly the same. In fact, it's thicker than scrapbooking paper. But today, for speed, I'm going to use some of my scrapbooking paper. There are very cheap scrapbooking books around in the UK. I'm sure there must be in other countries too. That doesn't necessarily mean you can get your hands on them, but I would think most crafters would, perhaps buy a scrapbooking paper book, if nothing else. You can often pick them up in charity shops. Not often, but sometimes pick them up in charity shops very cheap as well. And don't leave the ugly ones. If someone's bought an ugly, not so nice paper pad and it's in the charity shop, grab it, because you can alter them and make them into something beautiful, and you've still got the lovely card. So yeah, so I'm going to use those for speed today to make the pockets front and back. So in the front, I'm going to make, I'll move my notes. I was just thinking out loud. No, I was just thinking on paper, I think, not out loud, what I was going to do, because it's hard to decide when the camera's rolling. So yeah, I formulated a plan. So I'm going to do a double pocket in the front, and well, let's do one at a time. So I want a double pocket here to put papers and things like that in. So like I say, I've got the wallpaper here, so I could do it with the wallpaper. Oh, I've got another piece of that. I'm going to do it with a piece of, yeah, I think I might use the pink and the green. I don't know, I'll see. Anyway, so I just want to know roughly what I want my dimensions to be. So my whole cover or inside is 6 1/4 or 15.5 centimetres, so I want it quite a bit less than that. I do want this to be seen, so I don't know, about 14 centimetres maybe in height or thereabouts. Doesn't matter if it's a bit less or a bit more, by about 9 or 10. Okay, just so I know roughly what I've got, what have we got here. We've got, that's 7 to 18, so that's too tall, by 12. So actually, can you see the paper? It's got dots on it. I think that's going to help me. Is it going to help me? I don't know, perhaps not. It's seeing straight, isn't it? So what did I say I wanted? About 14. Let's mark. No, I didn't. Did I say less than 4? No, 14, I think. I'm having an argument with myself. 14 centimetres. That way. What did I say that way? Forgotten. 9 or 10 I said, didn't I? Let's go 10, because I can always cut it down. Right, let's see if I can follow a row of dots. I think I can there. Can I this way? Yeah. It's easier to follow it with a ruler, laying a ruler down on it, than follow it with your scissors. So I want to cut inside there so I don't have to go to the bother of rubbing that line off. So I'll go to the next row of dots. I think I can see them now. Now I've got that line there. Oops, bit of a wobble there. So I've got, this is my back piece, just under 10 by 14. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's fine. You can still see that lovely paper around the outside. Now I want another pocket on top of it. This one's going to be tucked behind. I want another pocket on top. So, and I think I'm going to mat it so I can see the green all the way round. I'm just thinking that I've got this lovely floral here. Would that go with it nice on there? It would. And actually that's not a bad height. Is that the right way up? Yep. It's just a bit too long, so let's, too wide. Let's see if I can take a, I'm trying to line up those roses there, and normally I would do it on my guillotine, but I'm trying not to use it because I know there'll be a lot of you out there without one, and it's good for me, to be honest. It's one of those that I don't know which is the right way up. Okay, so it's like you can do it exactly the same size. It doesn't have to be smaller. It's completely up to you. Now what I'm going to do is take there, I think, chunk off there, so that is a pocket, and then we'll have a pocket sideways as well. So they're not gusseted. Let me just draw where I want to be. Now I'm not going on that point there. I'm coming further down. The pocket will then be, will it? I was going to say it'd be wider open. No, it won't. That way. So yeah, I want to be that way. So in from the top. Is that, I hope I've made myself clear and not confused you then. Yeah, it will be wider open. I'll explain when I've cut it. It wouldn't have been the other way. Well, I suppose it would. It would have been a corner pocket, but I want a bit of shape on it. Now, if I just glue it down right and left, that bit's not glued down, it just gives you that little bit more space to put something in. I was just thinking if I did a corner one, I mean, you could just put a corner one in. Could put it on top of there and have 3, look. That's nice, isn't it? I'm not going to. The pattern is actually the wrong way around. But if your back was a different colour, you know, you could have 3 pockets. So I'm going to put a divot on here. Now I know that some of you, and I'm just going to guess where, I've not got, oh, I always feel like I've been shot when I do that. I've not got the circle punch. I should have measured that. I've only just got enough room. You know, to do that, you can cut it, draw a little line around your cup, around a saucer, something like that, cut it, or just don't have one. It's up to you if you don't have the circle punch, or just freehand it. I think I'm just going to take a bit more off this, just because I feel I was a little bit close with that. Yeah, I did a real good circle there, divot. Okay, so I can put this one down first and get it where I want it before I put that one on, or you can glue them together and put them down, but let's get the art glitter out. Yeah, now I would also perhaps round my corners, but I'm not going to do that because, again, you've not all got a corner rounder. But if you have, and it's your kind of thing, the front corners there, if you round those, I think it kind of adds to the finishedness. Is that a word? Am I making words up again? Probably. I think because there's a circle out there and then you've got rounds there. I'm upside down, look. I think I'm going to go exactly centre with it. What I want is, if you're going to put something in there with a tab, you want to make sure you've got plenty of room for the tab to be hidden in the book, unless you particularly want it on show. Sometimes you do, but I will probably fasten this up with some lace or something around it, so I don't think I will have tabs out of the side of the cover, you know, bigger than the cover. Okay, and that's a perfectly good side pocket on its own. I think this just adds a little bit, apart from pattern. Yeah, I think those are upside down again. I just can't fathom it. Yeah, I think they probably are, but who cares? They're growing in all directions, aren't they? Right, so I'm coming a bit further back down here to stay away from that. So you could put a journal card in there and a tag up there. Let's glue this one down. So I'm not going to glue across there. I'm going to leave that as an extra piece of wiggle room for getting something in or out. I do often gusset, put a gusset in pockets that I put front and back, just to give an extra bit of room to, you know, to get things in, and we will move on to that, but we're just doing simples for now. I'm thinking while I'm here I'm going to put a label on there. Right, no, I'm always grabbing for my labels. Stop it. Have I got some plain paper? Well, this is plain on the end. Can I steal a piece? You can do whatever you want, Denise. It's your paper. Okay, let's steal a piece and hope I don't regret it. Now, again, this is where I would usually use my corner rounder, but you don't have to have one to make a, well, that's pretty, isn't it? But cutting it straight would be good, so I want more of a rectangle. Yep, I think that's fairly straight for me with my, now I'm going to take a chunk off the corners, make it, I think they call it a lozenge, this shape, don't they? I'm pretty sure they do. That's it. That is the shape of, you know, if you wanted to be exact, you would have to either measure or put those corners on, the first one on all the others. Now, I'm going to use my ink again, but if you don't have ink, you could just go round the edge of this with a colour, or even if you do have ink, you could go round the edge with a colour of just pencil or pen or a coloured crayon, just round the front, just to give it a bit of a border, if you will. I'm just going to do that for speed. I never even checked the size of it, did I? I'm just going to go there in the middle of those roses. And there you've got, I mean, that would, on a plainer page, that would be a beautiful tag or ticket, wouldn't it, that way? You know, no digital needed, just made out of your own pretty paper. Book page. I did make some like specimen tags using book pages when I was doing the book page challenge. They're lovely. Still got some of them around because I made a lot. We might revisit that. So when we've got tags, we'll have one in there, and journal cards. Have I got anything a bit bigger? Yeah, when we make them, we'll have one in there. Can you feel how, or hear how, you know, it's a little bit tight. That's maybe a bit big, but we've got that lovely pocket in the front. Love that nurse's outfit, whatever. Little girls dress up nurse, love it. So in the back, I think we'll do a side tuck, which will allow you to put a bit more in. All right, I quite like this pink. Again, don't worry if you haven't got this type of paper. Not bad length either. Do like I say before, just use your craft card. Right, let's see if I can find a bit of the pattern to chase up. Now you can make these as wide or as narrow as you want. So if you've got a strip like that and you want to use it up, that could just be a side tuck. We might use that in the book actually. We'll save all our bits, don't get rid of any of your bits. So let me look at this size wise. Yeah, so that's going to be a fairly wide one, but that's, yeah, I'm going to cut it down this side as well. I don't want it that wide, after all I said. I just think when they're not gusseted, it's easy to get things in if they're not so wide. And I would love those corners rounded, but like I say, I'm not going to. So what I am going to do is that, and do it here like you do on a tag. So if you just fold it over, put it on the bottom. Oops, preferably straight. Then they are, in theory, the same shape. I am going to use this and take a little divot out. Bang, sorry. Are you straight? Not quite. Just got a little bump in it there, look. That's it. And again, I'm just going over the edge of that material there, that fabric. I want to see that beautiful rose behind. And I would normally ink it, but I'm not going to. So just the top, the back side and the bottom glued. Oops. Put plenty on this back because it's going on that fabric. Gosh, camera's a long way away. I had to have a giraffe neck then to see how long I'd been. Plugged a bit of glue. Are we straight? Oh, well, it's that glitter, so if it's not, oh, it's moving, look. Now, what's this? This is on something, but if you wanted to make it even more pretty, see if I can find some, I think. Come stick some lace down there. Let's do it, because I do love to add lace and ribbon. Let's get it out. I just want a thin piece. I don't want it, because I don't want to hide all that rose, but it does, for me, it neatens the edge. Because I haven't inked it, it's kind of shouting at me a little bit. That's probably because I'm an inker, if you see what I mean. I think that one will do. Let's just go. Don't want anything too fancy. It's pretty. If I put it a little bit further back onto there. Right, do I want to go past it? Yeah. I think I'm going to go... Ooh, just beyond it. Top and bottom. So it's the size of that mat. But yeah, as close in as I can to leave that beautiful rose showing. And I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac for that. Most ordinary glues will glue fabric, I think. You just have to glue them and leave them. Don't mess about with it. When I say most glues, I don't mean, well, I don't know. Some glue stick would, but how permanent it would be. But if you use a glue gun, hot glue definitely does. PVC. Oh, I've done it now. I've said it. PVA, isn't it? PVA glue. Well, I know they both stand for polyvinyl something or another, so it wasn't that daft that time, Denise. Anybody in the UK out there old enough, and I'm barely old enough, and I'm 60 this year, remember Nellie Pickett? Was it Nellie Pickerskill? A very old television programme she used to make. I mean, really old, like it was old when I was a child, so probably not. She used to make funny words up. It was part of her comedy character. I sound like her. I think, you know, we use the term not on your Nelly in the UK. I think it might have come from there, I don't know. I might be wrong. But let me know if you know. Pretty. Right, do we want some on the front now? That's the only thing. No, I don't think we do. I quite like the raggedness of that piece there. I'll have to move this because it's in my eye line and I can't stop looking at it. And it's blocking the light out. It's a bit of a cloudy day today. I don't think it's going to rain, but it's dull. I hope it hasn't rained. No, because I've got washing out, as always. Yeah, we've been out and done all our jobs and what have you. Neil's gone fishing again because he had such a good time yesterday. So, and I've got lots to do in here. So, right. So that's front and back pocket. Let's do some internal pockets then. So let's choose what we're going to do. I'm going to put that on at the end because I want to put it on and just leave it, not move it till it glues, till it sets. So let's not use. What about this? This would make a nice pocket, wouldn't it? Oh, I love that side, look. We put some of it in as a page, didn't we? Yeah, flip out. Okay, perhaps we didn't put some in as a page. Oh, we did, look. Oh, so there must be another one. Oh, where did you found it? Sometimes. So we've got 2 pages of it in. So do I not want a piece as a pocket as well? Yeah, I suppose it's a theme, isn't it? And I'm thinking on the front of there because it's nice and strong. So I'm just wondering if to have a go at a gusseted pocket with you. They're not that difficult, to be honest. And you can get so much in them. Let's do it. Let's make a gusseted pocket, which just means it's got a little bit of extra give around the sides and the bottom. You know, so it kind of moves off the page. Not a lot more, but a little bit more. You can do a double gusseted, which is more complicated. So I'm looking about a 9 centimetre or 3.5 inch width. So I want about 0.5 centimetre each side to turn up. So what did I say? 9. So let's go 10. Let's go 10 centimetres high, wide. There. I'll do it this way as well, and then I can cut fairly straight. I don't know if it will be because there's a little bit missing there, but we'll do that first. Normally, I would just chuck it on the guillotine and cut. And if you don't want it precision accurate, just cut it. You know, don't get hung up. Normally, I wouldn't, I don't think. I wasn't trying to teach you. I'd just cut it. Well, normally I'd use my guillotine, but... So, yeah, it's too big, but we're going to fold it over, remember? And we're going to fold the bottom over a little bit. So I only want it kind of halfway up the page. I don't want it deep. So yeah, 6, I think. And I'll have 1 centimetre for turning under at the bottom. So 7 centimetres. What width did I do? 10. So 10 by 7 I'm doing for this particular page. Centimetres. Which is 4 by 2 3/4 inches. Oh, I've done my lines and not drawn them. There's something nice about drawing lines with a pencil and a ruler, you know. I haven't done it for a long time. Reminds me of being at school. It's the sort of thing I did used to like doing at school. Strange, that doesn't look very square, does it? Looks very unsquare. Right, we've got a not very nice edge here, so I'm just going to trim that. And actually, I can see that's not square, so perhaps it was the way I took the page out. So I'm going to make it square by my eye rather than by the ruler. Little butterfly there, let's try and keep him. Okay. See, sometimes you're better just cutting it by eye. So this is the side and the bottom, and that's where we want it folded over. Now you've seen my, excuse my squeaky chair. You've seen this. I've got several of them. Scoring board, you know, you can use that and score it. Again, I'm going to pretend you haven't got one, and it really doesn't matter what size you fold it up. Just know the more you fold it up, the smaller your pocket. Now I left it 1 centimetre, and don't know if I folded that up 1 centimetre, but it doesn't matter. Oh, I have nearly 3/4. Okay, fold it back out again, and then fold your sides in. Now the only reason you would have to measure and make each side identical would be if you had a pattern that had to be central there. If not, it doesn't matter, you know, if one's bigger than the other. So I'm just going to ink this so you can see it's the inside. So the only reason I'm inking it is so that you can see. I know you don't you don't. I was going to say you don't see it very well. It doesn't show up very well, creased paper on. So this is my inside, that's my outside. So you can see where I've crossed there. I'm just going to nip just above on that one, and just inside on that one. So when we fold them over, there's no bulk in the corner. I might take that one a bit more. It's not an exact art. You can do it as big or as small as you like. So can you see, oops, what can I put it on here? Kind of, yeah, the camera's over there, Denise. Kind of shape I've taken out. And then you just fold these back on themselves so that, you know, they're folded back, not front. Okay, and that's how it goes down on the page. And you can see that there's just a bit bigger gap to get things in and out there. I do like a gusset. Well, I do. I do like a divot. And I'm just going to eyeball it. It's not a very big one, but it's there. I'm going to ink this so you can see it. Now, I probably would ink anyway because I do like ink on my plainer pieces. Yep, it can go a little bit higher up actually, so we can still see all the lovely bits in the book. And that is a simple gusseted pocket. Have I got time to make some tags? Gosh, you're so far away, I might move the camera down a little bit. I hope I don't do anything to it. Because you must be far away if I can't see the time on it, and I can't. Just give that a little bit. Now remember, I know you're not all newbies watching this. There are people who will be watching it who, you know, maybe some that know more than me or have done it longer than me, or, you know, I've got different ideas. Who was it that gave, oh, it was Violet. Violet? Yeah, Violet last time, who said when she puts the fabric over there, because she likes a nice neat journal, she folds it all the way over and glues it down on here. I think that's what you were saying, wasn't it, Violet? Yeah, so rather than trim it off, you can see I've got frayed edge, which I quite like, but to be honest, the rest of the journal is very neat, isn't it? So yeah, that was a nice. So please add all your advice and, you know, ideas in the comments to any newbies who might want to know. I was just, as I was looking at the front, I was just thinking about the corners. I'm going to put corners on and show you, but I'll do that next time, I think, when the lace is on. You don't have to have them, but I do like corner protectors on. So shall I do tags? I still can't see. Oh, that's been half an hour. Or shall I do another side pocket in here? in that same. I want to match some of these pages. Let's do some tags and then we're not falling behind. So I was going to do tags one day and pockets the next, but we've got time to make some. So let's get this on the go. And then if this is all you've got, I'm showing you. See, I'm going to bash you now. That wasn't a threat. I'm just trying to see where it's glued there. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely not as thick as the Weetabix. That's probably a good idea though. It is very thick, that Weetabix card. I'm not sponsored. And it's a lovely, lovely colour inside. Right, can I tear that to save me some time? Let's see. I mean, these make nice journal covers as well. These cereal boxes. Move that out my way a minute. I've got a lot going on. Let me just put some to the side. That's it. Just going to get all the bits off that I don't necessarily want. Oop. Took some from the underside. I thought I had. Right, those bits I don't want because I've got the glue on them. The bin's fallen over. Where shall we make one? Let's make one a straight up and down one for that. Where are you for this one? Because I think I might want something thinner in that front. So, ruler. Oops. So I'm just going to do a very simple tag that fits the pocket. So I might go 9 or 10. I'm going to go 10 centimetres high and I'm going to keep it quite inside. So 10 by what, 7? Shall I go for 7? Yeah, 10 by 7. Alright, I kind of want a neat edge. Let's try and neaten it up a little bit with the scissors now. Love that sound. Do you like the sound of scissors cutting quite thick card or paper? I know some people do. It's AMSR, ASA, can't remember. That's not very straight. No, I can straighten it up later. So, what did I say? 10 by 7, 7.5, 7.5. Yeah, it's definitely not straight there. So we'll go in there, 7.5. I'm just going to go over 10 so I can straighten it up. So I'll go 11, you know, so I'm not losing anything somewhere along there. If I do 10 across there as well, let's see, was it 10 that way? No, it's 7.5 that way. See if that ends up being a straightish line. Not quite, but it doesn't matter if it's a little bit. So I'm trying to cut inside so I don't have to rub the pencil line out, but we'll see. Tiny bit, tiny bit. Oh, I took everything with me then. So yeah, I've still got all my cupboard empty. I've given a few bits of wood in the back of the door and what have you, another coat. I'm going to ink it, but not till afterwards, of emulsion. So there's all my other bits of paper that I had here. What shall we? So we could cover it in the wallpaper. I'm thinking this book page though. Book page is nice, isn't it? So we've got coloured florals in the black and white florals. Right, whereabouts would I'm liking those pinks. In fact, I quite like the page edge there. Yep, so I'm going to glue it on this side. Yeah, that won't put it past me to do it the wrong way. What shall I glue it with? I'm going to use Anita's Tacky. Now this is, I don't think I've got an emery board here. It's a little bit shiny. So if your glue, you know, doesn't grab brilliant on shiny, you can just go over it with an emery board. I don't think I haven't. I must get one. This will grab it. I will just have to leave it to dry a little bit or be careful with it. This is Anita's tacky glue. It's not expensive. Works fairly well, but slow. Air bubble. Come on. It's very slow at coming down the tube as well. I'm putting plenty on because I want it to grab. Now it might ooze out the side. Now I usually just smooth mine out with my cloth. If it's, you know, lumpy and I need to get air bubbles out, I often use the brayer. A lot of people swear by a credit card, so an old or a store card, anything like that, just really kind of spreads your glue evenly and removes any air bubbles. So I'm just doing it really to show you. I did used to at one point use this. I tend to use this more than anything now, or my brayer, or just this. Just rub it with dried wet wipe. Now I bought some new ones today, so for you newbies, this is what I do. I buy a whole packet. I think these are these are nappy wipes. So, but there's no perfume, no alcohol in them. They're just wet, basically. Wipes. They are wet wipes. That's what they used to be called years ago, isn't it? And I take the whole pack out and just let them dry. And then, because you have to be careful where you put them. If you put them on your papers, they discolour. And then I just tear a few off and put them in my tray at the side. I was nearly out, so I've just got a new pack open. So they're just sitting on the top there. If you want them to dry really quickly, just open them out like this. You know, they'll dry in an hour or two. But they will just sit there, maybe a couple of days, but definitely all of today, and just dry out, and then I'll put them in my drawer. So just for those of you that don't know what we're on about when we talk about our wet wipe, and we're not using anything wet, or when I'm talking about wet wipe. Okay, now I know that one's trimming up. I'm just cutting it off my book page. It's pretty, isn't it? Just going to see if I can find my brayer to show you what I'm talking about with the brayer. Doesn't want to be found. Here it is. Here it is. So it's basically a bit gloopy, mine, a bit gluey. It's dry, so it's not going to do anything, but I've obviously had something gluey on it. It just, if you just start at one end and go the other way, it just pushes the glue and any air bubbles that you might have, you know, so that you're left with a lovely flat piece of whatever it is you're gluing together. Now I just want to trim that edge a little. I did make it big so that I could. There's a little bit of card showing, so I might as well trim, oops, all edges. Don't want to lose too much of that flower, but there we go. Now, the difference between a tag and a journal card, is that dry? I wondered because I had a lot of wet ones then, is not very much. And I don't think there's, you know, like junk journal police who would say that is not a tag, that is a journal card. So I think a tag often has a tag shape at the top, but not necessarily. That can be a tag just as it is. Are you going to fit in? And a journal card is often a bit bigger and perhaps that shape rather than that shape. But to be honest, you know, I call tags cards and cards tags. I've started recently just calling them pocket fillers because it makes life easy. The idea behind a tag or a journal card in a junk journal is primarily goodness me, is mainly what was originally you know, for journaling on, for extra journaling, hiding it away, things like that. But again, you could, you know, just put it in there for prettiness. You could put pretty both sides. You could put pictures on it, do art on it, all sorts of things. There really is no rules whatsoever. Now, I was going to trim those edges to show you a journal tag shape, but I love that book page number on there, and I love the faded book page, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now, the only thing about a tag that I like is often if you've got something to pull it out with, it's much easier, and I do love a bit of lace. Now, you can put tabs. Are you going to come out? stuck on that one. So these are called whale tail tabs. I think that's self-explanatory, the shape, isn't it? There used to be a Punch, I think, that you could get that did these, and they stopped making it now. Whether it's gone back into production or not, I don't know. But these are die cuts from a die cut machine. Majority of these sent by Violet. Thank you, Violet. So you can put something like that on your tag at the top. That's really pretty, isn't it? And it just gives you something to grab, to pull out. I do like just a chunk of... Excuse me, chair. I'm just wondering why my bits are right. Incoming lace. I do like just a chunk of either fabric or lace, or... That's pretty, isn't it? So that's a bit of a crochet doily. Yeah, a piece of that would be nice. Equally, a piece of that would be nice, look. Oh, that. I've had that for a long time. Did you send me that, Tanya? I think you might have. I might be wrong. But I like this. This is more my grungy kind of... I do try not to cut the harsh fabrics and lace and things with my Tim Holtz scissors, because they are kind of paper scissors. That's a bit thick. So I like it folded over and grungy kind of. Take it out, Denise. Let's just see what it looked like. And I do love to just put mine in with a staple. You can put it in with Fabri-Tac. You could stitch it on your machine. I think I like the whole thing at the front, actually. You could put it on with a brad. You could sew it in by hand. So many ways. All, you know, look beautiful. All add something to your creativity, your beautiful journal. So I like to squeeze those down because they do leave them, the stapler leaves them sticking up a bit. Now you could glue a button or some bling. Don't think I've got any bling here, have I? It's in the drawers that I've moved out of the way. I just tend to bring it in now if I want it. Should have brought some. I thought I had some, because I think a piece of bling would be nice on there. Aren't there any in here? Oh, hang on. You see, I've got little pots of all. Oh, look, there's some bling. Always something hanging around, always. So, if you don't like the staple showing, I mean, I quite like the staple showing. This is the faux pearls, I guess. But it's more than this kind of bling. It fits more with the vintagey lace, doesn't it? I'm just going to put it on for show. Of course, anything like this bulks it up, so you have to decide if you want the bulkiness or not. Just like lace, I love a bit of bling. Not quite so much. I used to be very bling at one time, but yeah, I'm very much a lace. Got a bit of glue on my hands, so I don't have to touch anything now. Fabri-Tac sticks to everything given any opportunity. There, so we made a start with the tags. We will do a lot more on tags and journal cards. Again, you could stencil the back, you could draw on the back, you could cover it in paper, especially if you've got scraps. You could collage on it. Do a stamp. Pretty little stamp. Oh, I don't know that I've got any stamps here. So what happens when you tidy up, move everything out your way? I've got some in here. I don't want an ink splodge, do we? Is that all I've got? What do you say? To and from things to do. Got a little typewriter there, look. No, let's use this. Let's put some... Oh. Now, these stamp blocks are not here, are they? I'm going to grab one. I won't be a moment. If I can get out the chair. Are you impressed? Look, I've got the label. That's what I was doing yesterday, sorting the cupboard out. well, not just that, but yes, labelling some of my boxes that I know things are staying in. So, what will he fit on? He'll fit on that. Lovely. I may not get it square. You won't if you don't put it on square. And I want some stays on ink as opposed to my Tim Holtz. You don't have to. This just gives you a much crisper finish, and it's permanent. You know, the Tim Holtz ink is not. You can wet it, and it will continue to move and what have you. Once this is dry, got my finger in it already. Once this is dry, it's dry, and it shouldn't, in theory, move. Okay, now normally I would do that on a piece of scrap and try it, but I'm just going to go for it right in the middle of this cardboard. Okay, so if I'd have tried it on paper first, I might have realised that I wasn't pressing enough across there. As it is, I don't mind. If you really dislike it, you could go across with a pen and a ruler and fill it in. I'm thinking I might like something else stuck on it now. I don't think I've got anything here that I could cut out. There's a little leaf. What about that? That would make a nice little what's the word I'm looking for? Label. That'd make a nice little label. It's not, I don't think it's too big, so let's. Is that going to be in the way? Yeah, that one's going to be in the way. Let's just cut that one off there. It says July. That might be about it. Okay. Straighten it up by eye. As much as you can. Yeah. And then I'm going to just nip the corners again, and if it is you know, off a little, as in not square, that helps it out as well. Okay, so it's the same paper that's on the other side actually, so yeah, I'm just going to put that up there. It's a lovely little label. Right, I better stop now. I just don't know when to, but it's all about the getting it uploaded in a decent amount of time. So I'm having great fun with this. It will be a fairly long running, I think, series. I'm loving that. You know, I never would have made that into a tag, I don't think, or that into a pocket if I wasn't doing this series. So loving that one very much. Obviously we want some tags or pocket fillers of some description in here. Might put another little label up there to mirror that one. The embellishing really I do at the end, but sometimes I just can't help myself. And again, you know, perhaps some extra paper, whatever in there. We'll fill it up as we go, and it will, like I say, it will get chunkier and chunkier already. That little lace bit there, and the pocket front and back, you can see. And I'll tie it around with some lace. So we want some kind of a topper or something on the front of it. We want the lace down the side. We're going to put some corner edges on. We might even put some lace down the pages. I'm going to mat some of these and make them a bit more secure. So lots more to do yet. So yeah, hope you've given me some ideas of things you need to know, or things you want explaining, or things I'm perhaps not explaining very well. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, because I'm having great fun. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.